Hello everyone and welcome to the Kiki London YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and in today's video we are going to be doing a wintry blue set of nails. So I really hope you all enjoy today's nail art tutorial. I'm going to start off by showing you guys all of the products that we're going to be using. So for our pink base shade I'm going to use RB02, and then I wanted a lot of blue in this set, but the main blue gel polish shade we're going to be using is Baby Boy because we're going to get a lot of our blue from nail art. We are also going to be using a little bit of blooming gel towards the end of the video for a marble, and then our blue nail art. So predominantly for the blue I'm going to be using the platinum flakes and then the sapphire stud crystals, as I haven't used crystals in ages. We are also going to include some of the crystal cut crystals as well, which are these beautiful clear crystals. If you haven't checked out the Kiki London crystals, then I highly recommend it. For brushes, I'm mainly going to be using the striped liner brush. I use this for all of my hand painting, and then we're going to use the ombre brush because we are going to be doing an ombre, and then I'm going to use the round nail art brush today to show you guys some of the ways we apply the flakes. And then for top coat, of course, we've got to include the new snowflake top coat, and then we are also going to be using the no white rubber top coat as well. As well as these products, I do also use the silver metallic nail art gel, but unfortunately my footage for that was really out of focus, so I didn't include it in the video, but you will see it used in the tutorial. So I'm starting off with one coat of RB02. As you can see, it's a really pretty pink shade, and in one coat it is quite sheer. It's a really nice natural pink, but once you use it in two coats it does come across a lot more opaque. Now on this design we're going to be doing an ombre, but I am doing it slightly differently because of the fact that I'm ombreing rubber base, which is slightly thicker, with a regular gel polish. So what I'm doing now is I've come in and I've applied my Baby Boy to the tip of the nail, and then using my ombre brush I'm blending this back into that cured rubber colour base. We're going to then do this in two coats, so I'm popping that first coat into cure, and it does blend quite nicely because Baby Boy is a more lighter shade. This would probably be a little bit trickier to do with a darker shade, but it blends back really nicely because the rubber colour base leaves behind a bit of a tacky inhibition layer, so you're kind of blending it into that, so you have something to work it into. So we're going to do the Baby Boy in two coats so that the colour looks nice and bright and nice and even. We're going to pop that second coat in to cure for 30 seconds, and then we are going to come in with another coat of the rubber base. This is to bring up a little bit more pigmentation from the pink, and then also to soften that blend line where the Baby Boy ends. So as you can see, I'm taking this over the top of where we created that fade between the Baby Boy and the first coat of RB02, and then I'm basically going to just really gently feather out that shade. And because it's got a kind of sheer color to it, it's not too opaque, it blends out nicely, so you're not going to have to worry about any harsh lines. It was a really effortless blend. So we're then going to pop that into cure, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe away that tacky inhibition layer, and then because I'm going to be hand painting over this, I want to have a matte surface, and I'm going to show you guys another way to get a matte surface for your hand painting without adding a matte top coat. So you simply wipe away your tacky layer, give the nail a buff, and then a really good clean with your dust brush and another alcohol wipe. And as you can see, we've now got a super smooth, super matte surface. This is where we're going to be using that silver metallic nail art gel that I mentioned. So these are one of the latest launches from Kiki London. I believe these come out in around the start of December, and they are absolutely beautiful. They are super highly pigmented, and they make hand painting a lot easier, especially if you are wanting that really nice metallic consistency. We don't have that in a gel polish shade as such, so having it in these nail art gel paints is brilliant. So I'm going to be doing a really simple snowflake, so we're dotting on some simple dots using a medium-sized dotting tool, and then I'm going to take my strap liner brush and pull through these, making sure to do that little flick at the end so we get the triangular shape for our snowflake. Then we're going to continue doing this, popping on some more dots. I just popped a little bit more down in the center as I did flash cure the first layer so I didn't smudge it, but then we're going to dot down 4 more dots in between those, not taking these as high, and then we're simply going to drag our stripe liner brush through them, again making sure to get that little flick. And this is why the stripe liner brush is great for this, because it's nice and thin. You can pull it out and up, and it's going to create that little flick effortlessly for you. I'm then going to come on and add on just some more little dots on those remaining lines that we did just to add a little bit more detail to the snowflake, and then we're going to pop that in to cure for 30 seconds. And then this is where we're going to come in and top coat, but rather than top coating with a regular clear top coat, we're going to be top coating with the new snowflake top coat. So as you can see, this is full of tiny, soft, fluttery snowflake particles. If you missed the new launch for this video, I will leave it linked in the description box below. So I've applied this, I've just floated it on, but I am just taking my detail brush and just moving some of those snowflakes off the top of the hand painted snowflake, just so they don't cover it up or make it look a little bit messy. We're then going to pop that into cure, and that's our first finished design done. It looks super cute for the winter season. I would happily wear a full set of blue ombre nails with the snowflake top coat, and then maybe just have the ring finger with the silver metallic snowflake. I think that could look really cute as a full set. On to our second design, I'm coming in with one coat of RB02 again, popping this in to cure for 30 seconds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those platinum flakes. Now normally I would apply my platinum flakes with the silicone tool, but here I'm using that round nail art brush because I want a little bit more of a precise, smaller application of them, because I only want to apply these down at the cuticle area. So we're tapping them into the tacky inhibition layer that's left behind from RB02, and I'm just making sure to get really full coverage at the cuticle area, but then just fading them out ever so slightly. They did come down a little bit further down the nail than what I wanted to, so what I've done is I've cleaned the flakes off of my brush, and then I'm just kind of rubbing them back a little bit, and then what I do is pop a little bit of alcohol onto the round nail art brush and just remove any additional ones that I don't want. We're then going to come over the top of this with another layer of RB02, and as you can see, I'm applying this over the entire nail, so we've applied it over a lot of those flakes as well. And as I mentioned when we're doing the ombre, because this is quite a soft sheer colour, if you work with it nice and thin, it's great for designs like this because we can go completely over those nail art flakes without fully covering them up, but then we can build the coverage up further down the nail to get the full coverage and more opacity where we need it. So that's what I'm doing with it here. I'm building it up and making it a little bit thicker as we come down towards the sort of middle nail bed area and then down towards that tip. But you can still see those flakes, I was going to say snowflakes, those platinum flakes down at the cuticle area. They still look nice and bright. And then again, because we're going to be doing a little bit of hand painting over the top of this, I want to have a matte surface. So I'm going to wipe off the tacky layer and just do a really quick buff over the nail. This isn't going to remove any product, it's just going to remove the shine. And then we're going to make sure to dust and clean that off. Now, of course, if you don't want to do your matte surface this way, you can just come in with a matte top coat, or you can just paint straight over your tacky layer that's left behind. I just find it a lot easier to paint over a matte surface, and I just thought I would show you guys a different way of getting that matte surface if you don't want to use a matte top coat or if you don't have one in your collection. Now for the hand painting on this one, I'm doing a bit of an alternative French. So we're starting off with a half French using the baby boy. Now usually I would use my French brush for any kind of French, but because I was doing something a little bit different, I reached for my stripe liner brush, as this brush is like my comfort brush. I feel as though I can try anything if I've got this brush in hand. So I've done basically started off, found my center point of the nail, swiped across to get our wings and our sort of deepness to our smile line, and then just coloured that half of that tip in. We did that in one coat, and then I'm coming in and doing a second coat just because it is recommended to use your gel polish shades in 2 coats to get the full opacity and to make the colour look nice and even. So this wasn't too tricky to do. I probably could have done this with the French brush. So if you don't have the stripe liner brush but you do have the French brush, you could definitely do that with that. Once we've done 2 coats of this, we're going to pop that second coat into cure for 30 seconds, and then once we've done our second coat on the other side of the French, I'm going to take the silver metallic nail art gel, but rather than colouring in the whole tip, we're just going to do like an outline because I wanted this to look quite funky. I'm not 100% sure what I thought of the design. I'd seen an alternative French like this and I wanted to give it a go. It's not something I've done, I don't think, before, but then I wanted to also combine that look with the flakes. But overall, I'm not 100% sure what I thought of this one. It's different and it's unique, and it's always nice to try different nail art designs and push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I gave it a go, but let me know what you thought of this look in the comments below. So once we had done the silver part of the design, that only does need to be done in one coat because of how pigmented the metallic gel nail art paints are. Then we're just going to simply come in and top coat to bring back the shine to the nail. On to the next nail, we're going to be coming in with a base of Baby Boy. So I am going to do my 2 coats of Baby Boy. Now, if I was doing this on myself or a client, I would have done 1 coat of RB02 underneath, so we had a base coat, because obviously on the previous nails we've had that as our base layer down. But because we're just working on display tips, I'm just going to use the gel polish. But of course, never skip base coat if you are working on yourself or a client and you're working on the natural nails. Once we've done our 2 coats of Baby Boy, I'm going to come over the top of this with 1 coat of the rubber top coat. Now at this step you could use any top coat as long as it was a no wipe top coat. You want to have a cured top coat that doesn't leave a tacky layer behind. Then we're going to burnish in those flakes. So that's why it's important to really burnish them in like this. You need to have a no wipe top coat that's been cured. So I'm taking the silicone tool and just burnishing them in, but I don't want to cover the entire nail. I still want to have some of that Baby Boy coming through. So I've just gone in kind of like a swoosh across the nail, and this is going to be the base for our crystals. However, before we do move on to applying our crystals, you want to make sure that you dust off any of those excess flakes using the soft dust brush. Then I'm going to come in and apply a layer of the no wipe rubber top coat again. And what we're going to do here is this is going to seal in our flakes. However, this is what we're going to use to also apply our crystals. So don't pop this into cure. You want to make sure you've left it wet, and then you're going to set your crystals down into that wet no wipe rubber top coat. Now the rubber top coat is excellent for applying your crystals because it holds them in place beautifully once it has been cured, but it's a lot easier way to apply them than using glue, because you can move your crystals around as much as you want without worrying about them sticking, because they're not going to stick in place until you pop your top coat into cure. So I'm basically just going alternative between the blue and the clear and creating a really simple swoosh following the swoosh we created with our flakes. And then I'm just going to bulk that out a little bit with a few more of each of the colors here and there, just so it pops a little bit more and it gives us a little bit more of a, I just wanted to add something extra. I wanted it to look a little bit more blingy. So I'm just coming in with some of the smaller crystals here and just placing them in the little gaps to make it look a little bit thicker. Now the Kiki London crystals do come with the sizes separated. However, I have mixed them together. So depending on how you prefer to work with them, you can either pop them up in their individual sizes, or you can just mix them all together like I have. Once you're happy with your crystal placement, you're going to pop that in to cure for 60 seconds. And then that is that design done. So we're going to move on to the final one. Now on this one I have already done 2 coats of RB02, so we've used 1 coat to act as our base coat, and then because I wanted to use this as the main color in this set, I've come in with a 2nd coat, and then over the top of that I'm going to take a layer of the blooming gel. You leave your blooming gel wet, and then I'm going to dot on my 3 colors. So I added a bit of coconut to my palette for this because I just wanted a 3rd color to break up the marble a little bit. So we've got Baby Boy, coconut, and the metallic silver. I've dotted that down into that wet blooming gel, and then I'm just taking my dotting end tool of the gem tool, and I'm just literally swirling those colors from left to right and then just fading them down a little bit. And then because we've applied the blooming gel to the entire nail, the edges of that marble are going to soften and bloom. So I did leave this for a few seconds before popping it in to cure, let it bloomed, and then once I was happy with the design, that's when I popped it into cure, and you can see here it looks a lot softer. And then again, similar to on the first design, we're reaching for that snowflake top coat, and I'm going to add this to the entire nail. So what this is going to do is going to add the snowflakes into that pink area of the nail, but it's also going to add a few of them going through that marble as well, which kind of just gave off a really cute snowy wintry vibe, which I absolutely loved. I then popped that in to cure for 60 seconds, and that is the 4th and final design finished. So I think a lot of these are super easy, super salon friendly, so let me know if you decide to try any of them in the comments below. Here's what they look like together together as a set. If I was going to wear this as a complete set on myself, I probably would do another marble for the thumbnail. Anyway guys, as always, I've left all the products I've used linked in the description box below, so do check that out, as well as any recommended videos. I hope you all enjoyed today's design. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do hit that subscription button, and I shall see you all again in next week's video. Lots of love, have an amazing weekend, take care, bye bye.